Welcome, seekers of the unknown, to the This Are Johnny Domino podcast that dares to venture into the shadows, to confront the unexplained and to uncover the secrets that lie beyond the reaches of human understanding. Join your hosts, Giles and Steve, and we delve into the realms of the paranormal, the supernatural, and the inexplicable. I want a low, ominous hum. That's nice. So if you're ready to confront the unknown and challenge the rational, and push the boundaries of human knowledge, then join us as we venture into the world of This Are Johnny Domino. Hello!
Welcome to the This Are Johnny Domino podcast. My name is Steve.
And I am Giles. And we were just experimenting there with a different kind of intro.
Yeah.
Just to mix it up. Maybe it's a bit misleading. I don't know. There you go.
Might bring us some more listeners. Who knows?
Hey,
we
could.
A paranormal thing.
I think we need to add a paranormal element into the podcast.
Like that lad in his red coat who does the stuff on BBC Sounds. What's his name?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
No idea.
Oh,
no
man.
idea. Literally no idea.
Just Uncanny.
Oh, yeah.
Is a series. And his name is Danny Robbins. Danny Robbins in his little red coat. He's a very mystical little pixie man. And it's quite interesting. It's quite the phenom, kind of ghosty type stories of the unexplained.
Is it?
Yeah. He's been on the telly as well.
Okay.
So check that out.
I will. Quick update on Final Destination. Movies.
Oh, yes. Last time, yes. You'd seen the first one, hadn't you?
I had.
On my recommendation.
I had.
Where have you gone?
I have to say, I've watched 1, 2, 3, and 5.
Wow.
Of the health and safety horror franchise that is Final Destination.
Excellent.
And number 3 is the best one.
Absolutely, as I said.
Yeah, it's the epitome of Final Destination-ness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's particularly good when, in the first one, they have to kind of explain the idea that death has an order and everyone's going to die in a particular order and they've missed their chance, so death is going to catch you. And then once they get that out of the way in one, all they need to say is, oh, there was this thing that happened a year ago where all these kids were on the plane. And then it gets more fun because you go straight for the money shot. Where
I don't like that phrase.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Are you using that phrase?
Anyway, what you're going for is the bit you just want to see all the blood.
You do.
As our late grandma would say.
Oh yeah, she loved them. She loved them.
She loved watching horror films, and she loved seeing, in her own words, one of the last conversations I had with her, she liked to see all the blood.
Nice.
Did I tell you about that time I went round and I was talking to her, and she said to me, I watched a program on telly the other night about cannibals, but you didn't get to see anything. And I said to her, it's a documentary. It's not a film.
Oh,
you didn't get to see anything.
She wanted to see people chewing other people.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure she'd seen it in one of the many, many, many horror films. I did buy the Final Destination trilogy on DVD.
I just want to tell people that she was not a sinister person in any way. She was very sweet.
Picture of cartoon grandma, a lady with glasses wearing a pinny, white curly hair. Yeah. That's our late grandma.
She was not psychopathic or anything.
She'd just like to see all the blood.
She'd like to see all the blood. But the thing is, I noticed something about Final Destination 3 that I'm not sure you noticed.
Oh, is that true?
There's a song in Final Destination 3. It's a key bit in the actual plot where, where she's sort of driving along and the radio retunes and it plays like a song that's kind of freaks her out. It happens in a few of them, but it happens in this one. And the song that comes in Final Destination 3, it goes like this. There is someone walking behind you.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Turn around. Look at me. Do you know the one? Do you remember it?
Yes, I do know.
Yeah. Do you ring a bell, right? Yeah. And I was watching the film with Tracy and she said, is that an actual song? Because it was just like, it just sounded like such a ridiculous song. And I was like, I don't know, is it a real song? And it turned out it is.
Of course it was.
And the version in the film is by the Bee Gees.
Right.
And it was written by Glenn Campbell.
Beautiful.
It just goes to prove that even Glenn Campbell can write some shite. And it turns out it's not about a serial killer. It's more about a fellow who's perhaps trying a bit too hard to convince a girl that he likes, and then is coming across as a bit of a serial killer.
Yeah. We're back to the world of the all for one, I swear video, aren't we? With these guys misreading signs, the sign being get away from me.
Yeah, don't try so hard, guys. There is someone watching your footsteps.
Jesus. Yeah.
It's a great song. There's like loads of versions of it, but I'd never heard it before. I heard it in the film, so there you go. That's all I want to say.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying the Final Destination franchise.
Yeah,
because
I've done it now. I don't want to watch it anymore.
Well, you got to watch. There's a fourth one as well. Obviously, you've seen 1, 2, 3, and 5. 4's not great, but I think there's another 2 in the works.
Yeah, I'm getting into The Purge now.
This is the most fantastic story I've ever heard.
And every word of it's true, too.
That's the fantastic part of it.
That's a good.
This is this is our Johnny Domino podcast when we don't just talk about films from years and years ago.
It's not a paranormal. It's not a paranormal podcast.
And I apologize if you thought, hey, it's another Danny Robbins. It's not. It's me and my brother Giles talking about songs that we recorded up to and over 30 years ago.
We do.
And we talk about them with a view to building what was at first a conceptual compilation tape, but is now very much in the realms of forcing our genius onto an unsuspecting public.
Today, this is not perhaps an episode that you want to start off on if you're new to the podcast, because we're going to be doing a bit of a recap, because it is time now for us to actually work out the track listing of Volume 2 of the best of This Our Johnny Domino, this tape that we are making. So we're going to work out a track listing of our favourite tracks from the last few episodes. So probably it's not the best one to start off with, because you're better off. Maybe one of the last 2 episodes might be good if you're a new listener. But not this one.
Ordinarily, what we do is we will listen to maybe 2 or 3 songs, and we will select a song to go onto a compilation tape.
That is what we do.
Yeah. So we're recapping all the ones that we chose in the last few episodes and trying to wrangle them into some kind of listenable tape thing.
Yes. And we'll probably put it onto some kind of streaming service, won't we?
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully. I'm not going to do it. I haven't got the technical ability to do that, but you have. Let's go.
Track 1, side 1.
Track 1, side 1. We are going to go with, for track 1, side 1, I think it's very important. My rationale here is to think of the fact that you come into a new album, I tend to listen to the first track. Do you listen to the first track? I listen to the first track. And if it doesn't grab you, you're not going to listen to much more, are you, really? You might try the second track. So we've got to go for 2 decent ones. And to be honest, I think this is my favourite song that we've listened to recently, that we've uncovered from our back catalogue. And it surprised me because there were like 3 versions of it.
Yeah.
And we found a version of it that I think was like one of the best recordings we did. And it's kind of quite downbeat as a song for a first track, but I love it. I think it's atmospheric, and it spoke to me, Steve. It spoke to me. What do you think?
I agree. We did usually get tarred with a brush that said we were quite miserable anyway by people that listen to us. And I think on this one, we're kind of leaning into it. I used to sometimes try to write music that was a little bit pretentious. And I think this music is a little bit pretentious, but it also rocks a little bit.
Okay, well, can you play it and then explain to us which bits you think is pretentious? What's pretentious about it?
Maybe pretentious is the wrong word.
Okay, what do you mean then?
Austere.
Okay.
It's serious.
Past places I don't want to go. The view threatens me. With life in a factory. Happy I was born. It's trouble free. Happy I was born. I was born pretty.
See, I don't think that tambourine is too serious, though. That lightens the load a little bit for me.
Yeah.
We must do what
That sounds a bit like more groovy.
Are you picturing Ray Parks,
Yes,
the percussionist to the stars?
I am. I'm liking that.
We walked into the glass before, but that won't happen anymore. It's all over me, and we all know too much to
And that guitar bit is quite positive sounding.
Yeah.
There's the death chord there.
Devil's Interval.
Is that the devil's interval?
The top note of it. That note.
Paranormal again.
Yeah, a little bit.
Restart the furnace of love, undo the seatbelt of fear. The holes are joined by glue and tape, making sure our love can't escape. Happy I was born. It's trouble.
Yeah, I like that verse.
Yeah.
I think I like because it's like I'm imagining like a relationship as being a bit like an Airfix model
Okay.
that's not very well made. I like this sound. That's going on for a while there. What I like is it's kind of austere, like you say, but it's not oppressive.
No.
It's not oppressive because you can have austere stuff that's kind of very dark and sounds very claustrophobic. But I don't think that sounds claustrophobic. It sounds quite open.
It's quite warm. So it's a good recording.
Is it punchy?
I think it's warm and punchy. Yeah, I know what you're saying. But we recorded 3 versions of that song, like you said.
Yeah.
And I'd always gone for the third one because that is a bit more pro sounds, which is the term that we used to use for things that we didn't like. But I think that version is a good mix of the austere and a bit lo-fi. And, yeah. And I've always liked the words as well. I think there's some really great lyrics in that song. So well done, you.
Well, that wasn't just me.
You did the words.
I did do the words, yes.
You did the words.
I did the words. Okay, first track though, yeah?
Absolutely. Bloody hell. Right.
Then we got track 2, which
Yeah.
I thought was a bit of a surprising. Well, I don't know. Is it surprising? What I wanted to go for was kind of loud, quiet. Right?
Yes.
You know, and also long, short. So after a relatively long, loudish song, we're going to go for a short, more acoustic-y type song, which is called Brand New Complication, which is a bit more on the indie side of things of what we tried to do.
Yeah.
And I've not listened to it very much. So purely selfishly, I thought it would be a good one to put as our second track, because then I'll listen to it more often.
Well, I was surprised that you picked it, because when I suggested we listen to it, in fact, I played it to you as a surprise.
Yes.
On an episode. I kind of sprang it on you because
Yeah.
we were talking about songs by our friend Jock and his band Peru. And it was our most Peru-like song.
Yes.
And I'm really glad that you like it, because, again, it was something that popped up when I was just faffing around on the computer and I'd not heard it for a long time.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. So I agree.
I like it. I'd prefer it if it was a Peru song. But we can't do that.
My God. Man, you want the moon on a stick.
I know.
Yes.
We
But
can't
yeah,
do that.
so that's track 2. And we should probably say that this is more or less your track listing that you came up with.
Well,
Because
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm going with it because I think it makes a lot of sense. I actually listened to the songs in the order that you came up with, and it makes sense. So,
Okay.
So again, well done, you.
Oh God, what's going on? This is weird.
All you of Earth are idiots.
You just hold on, Buster.
You're going to start. It needs to start being more negative towards me. It's too weird. Just listen.
Okay.
No, you're being too positive. Down
Okay.
is track 3.
Down was a song that was track 1 on our miserable album, The First 100 Years. I don't think it's miserable, but people say it's miserable.
Yeah.
It's quite downbeat, and the first track is called Down. The version that we're going for is a version that we recorded as almost like a level check when we were setting up to record the album Solid Ground. And it's a better version because we've been playing it a long time.
Yeah. But we didn't listen to it very often, did we? This
No.
version. So we've kind of rediscovered it.
Yeah.
And we enjoyed it when we listened to it a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
The thing I like about it is I think it's got a really nice, clear recording.
Yeah.
In terms of the track listing, it's going back into a kind of a longer, louder song.
Yeah.
And it's got Jim singing on it, which is good.
Always nice.
Yeah. And in the episode that we played it and chose it, I was quite getting into the sort of Talking Heads, Adrian Belew type guitar playing that you did. Can you sort of go into a bit more about how you made the guitar sound on this track?
Well, interestingly, this goes into a version of this song that I found prior to this recording. In the early days of Johnny Domino as a band, I would write the music and present it to the rest of the band, and everyone would either work out their bits or just play what I asked them to. Eventually, we started getting into being more of a, in inverted commas, jam band, and I was waiting for the delivery of a demagnetizer called a degausser, and I had to stay in all day, so I said, why don't you all come round and we'll record some music? So we plugged everything that we owned into the 8-track recorder and recorded just faffing around with songs, mostly just improvising, and I'm using that term very loosely, and just recording what came out. And one of the things that we did record on that day, and I think I might have had the riff before we started jamming, was the first ever version of the song Down.
Oh.
And the guitar solo is on it.
Oh, let's have a listen. What was it about this that we liked, do you think?
I think it's what you were saying was about the sort of Talking Heads kind of ness of it.
Yeah.
It's kind of groovy.
Ish.
It's a bit wonky.
Yeah. I want to hear where you get into doing some more guitar part.
Mark had a Zoom effects unit pedal,
Oh yeah.
and I just trod on it on purpose. I think I must have had the sound set up because it's a very strange sound.
That was a bit out of the blue, wasn't it?
Well, the solo.
A bit out of the blue, wasn't it, really? Where did that come from? Where did that come from?
Yeah, 'cause I think it foxed you a little bit.
Did
I
a
think-
little bit.
We were probably all laughed when I trod on the pedal. I'm not sure,
I think so.
but we kept it in, and that's basically the interesting bit about the recording. But I thought it was cool because basically it was all there,
Yeah, you
more
did
or
it.
less.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I made myself work out that solo
That you improvised.
again, improvised in the very loosest of terms.
What? How was it not improvised?
Well, it was improvised, but to say it was improvised makes me sound like a jazzer. And I trod on the pedal,
Yeah.
and then I put my hands on the guitar, and I was like, "Oh, that's a weird note," and then just kept it in.
That is improvisation.
I suppose so.
Yeah. It's nice to hear how we made it up.
Yeah, I thought so too.
It was good. It was
Yeah.
good. What's the next track?
It's a song called "Real Life" that we spoke about on an episode called "Sitting on the Pavement," which also featured Down, and we're talking about the Nottingham Xylophone Man.
Yes, and the song's got a bit of a xylophone type feel to it. I don't
Yeah.
think it's got any. Has it got a xylophone in it?
Oh, it's got the classic Johnny Domino Classio CZ3000 xylophone sound.
Yes.
Sorry,
and
vibraphone sound,
That's
which we
it.
used a lot. We used
That's
that a lot.
it. And it's sitting on the pavement playing little tunes.
Yes.
There you go. Frank. I've forgotten his name. Frank.
Oh, isn't that terrible?
That's bad. Anyway, there's a plaque there.
Where he used to sit.
There is a plaque there. So yeah, Real Life, bringing it down again after
Bit more mellow,
after the last one, and then we're going into track 5, which was I Forgot What I Set Out to Do, which was a song that never really properly got released, but I really like it. It's a good one. It's a good one. It's a bit of a pop tune.
Yeah, it came out on a Christmas compilation through Artists Against Success Records, so it is available on streaming. But we are going to have it for ourselves again.
Yeah,
so there you go.
It's good. I actually like listening to that one for enjoyment.
Absolutely, yes. You listen to your own music for enjoyment.
I listen to that one for enjoyment. And then we're going to, this is the last track of side 1.
Is it?
And it's Wake Up and Smell the Cat Food.
We spoke about that in episode 32, the one previous to this one. And it was a song that we recorded for our first properly released collection of songs called Rabbit Themes. And it's just a very nice song, very nice acoustic song.
Yeah, we liked it because it's got a bit of a more straightforward autobiographical lyric, and it's not trying to be arch or what was the other word you used to describe Trouble Free? Austere.
Austere. No, it's not at all.
It's not trying to be austere, is it?
It's not trying to be too clever.
Yeah. So that's the end of side 1.
Cool.
Jingle.
I wasn't sure about the Johnny Domino podcast, but I gave it a chance, and now I think I love it.
We do love it.
We do love it. And your first track of side 2 is a song called This One's for the Kids.
It is.
which is from episode 29, Something Electric Happens. It was the last track on our second, I don't like calling them albums. It just feels like I'm being too...
Release.
Yeah, okay. Second full-length collection of songs that were released in a single format called Players, and we were very pleased about it when we first made it up. We did actually play it live because my friend Will sent me a set list from a gig that we did, and it was very, 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 very long. It's got like 11 songs on it.
Oh, that's too long.
And in my mind, all of our sets were more like 7 or 8.
You know what? I don't like it when bands play for too long. I like a shorter set, I have to say. I think half an hour is long enough.
What, for every band that you go and see?
No, like, you know, bands that are maybe not doing the great... Yeah, bands that are not playing a kind of a collection of their best-selling 3 albums or whatever, right? You know, yeah. I mean, I'm not talking about Brian Jonestown Massacre. They need to play for about 4 hours because they have to have lots of arguments in between songs and stuff.
And fallout, yeah. I read something about Herbie Hancock's Mwandishi band from the 70s. Yeah. And they used to play festival gigs and they'd do 4 songs, but they'd play for 3.5 hours.
Yeah, well, yeah, that would be okay.
Let's be honest, they've got the chops.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm talking about indie bands.
Yeah.
That you go and see just to see what they're like.
Yeah.
They don't need to like overdo it. Just people are going to get bored. Just do half an hour.
Or when I saw the Strokes, they played the first album and that was it. No encore, no flash, because they were all the songs that they had. Yeah. So they just played it from soup to nuts, track 1 to the last track, and that was it. And then they walked off.
I bet it was good, wasn't it?
The more I think about it, it was great. At the time, I wasn't completely sold, but looking back on it now, I appreciate the fact that they knew what they were doing, in, out, sorted.
There you go. It's funny that we're talking about being succinct.
Yeah, we're fucking going on about it today. Right, let's move on. The next song that you chose was I'm Not In Anymore, which is an old song, and we've talked about it a couple of times on the podcast because it was on episode 9.
Yes.
And we didn't pick it. And then we did Second Chance Sunday, episode 30, Oh Baby, Give Me One More Chance. And I said, can we have another listen to this? Because I thought it was good. And you agreed with me. So it's going on there. So that's great.
So it's made it on.
It's made it on to the hallowed stage of Volume 2.
By the skin of its teeth.
Yeah.
Right. Then we have to have track 9, our theme tune.
Yeah. JD Stomp.
Yeah, which is great.
Which also only got in by the skin of its teeth on the same episode. Oh, Baby, Give Me One More Chance.
Yeah.
It was a shocking oversight for us not to include our theme tune. Just silly.
Yeah.
Now we're moving on to a song which, again, I was surprised that you chose. A song called Superhero.
Why were you surprised I chose this song?
Because you were never really into the kind of Sarah Records indie side of things as much as, Jock, and I was part of Peru as well, so I was by osmosis into that kind of stuff. And it's quite a simple song, and it's got quite a nasty lyric. And I wanted to talk about it because I think it's a good song, but I didn't expect you to like it, so I'm glad you chose it.
Yeah. Just you know why I didn't like those kinds of songs? Because it felt a bit exposing. Because they're all about the kind of songs where you could sort of hear the lyrics and understand the lyrics, and it's me that's singing it pretty much. So it felt a little bit like I was like airing my dirty laundry. So that's why I didn't like it at the time. But now there's enough distance, you see, so I can kind of like I get into it. Anyway, we listened to it, and it's lacking something.
Yeah, you said at the time you wanted to hear some bongos.
Yeah, it needed something. It needed something. So we've, I think we're gonna give it a go, aren't we? We're gonna listen to I tried adding some percussion.
Yeah.
And I've just gone for a sort of more subtle effect, really, haven't I?
It's very tasteful, and I'd just like to say I had no part of this. Oh, God.
Since you went away, you have seen what you've been missing. All the time you wasted. You were kidding yourself. You were having a good time.
Just a few little touches.
Yeah,
Just a few flourishes here and there.
All you can see is last year's story.
Here we go. I'm not sure whether you noticed, but it just sort of like lifts it a little bit, doesn't it?
It's barely there. Jesus. It's flat.
I think it comes in the chorus here.
I think it could do with turning it up.
Yeah.
More bongos.
More bongos. Here we go.
Take it home. Take it
Yeah, I couldn't, it just needed a bit of something, didn't it?
Well,
just
it
a
had
little,
something.
just a little bit. We need more bongos.
All you of Earth are idiots.
You just hold on, Buster.
Thanks.
Well done. Thank you for that.
I've been listening to a lot of Santana.
You can't blame Santana for that. When you talked about adding bongos to it, Mark Elston, hi there, Mark, of the Johnny Domino band, he sent me a message that said it could be a bit Primal Scream. I think it's got an element of therapy about it, but not necessarily the band Primal Scream. It was a cry for help.
I'm unleashing. No, I don't think so. I think I'm just unleashing something inside.
Yeah, I'm not sure that is going on. That version is going on the compilation.
We'll see. We'll see.
Well, we will see when I put it together. But there you go. So that is Superhero. Again, I was a bit surprised by that. And then, weirdly, it's another song that we gave another chance to. That'll be a song called Reap the Wind that we talked about when we were talking with our friend Dick back on episode 12. Back on episode 12, Get Off the Road, I've Got Pigs to Feed, which was a series of songs that either featured our friend Dick or were about our friend Dick. And Reap the Wind is a song that he helped and did some vocals on. It was actually by the Johnny Domino, not a side project, what would you call them? Jimmy Dorito, what would you call them?
I'd call it a side project.
Okay, it's a side project called Jimmy Dorito. And we just recorded some songs very quickly.
We did.
And we got Dick in to do some vocals because he had the rock voice. Yeah. He was known as Dickie Rock.
And it's a good song because it's got a contrast between the more rocky butthole surfers thing, and then it's got a bit of a poem in the middle.
A little poem in the middle.
That's it.
And again, you did very well.
Like, stop it. It's just weird, man.
All right, well, I've got a problem with the next couple of songs that you've got in your track listing.
That's all right. Well, I'm open to suggestions because I was only really attached to the first bit.
Okay, so, you were spitballing, weren't you?
Yeah. So at the end, I was like losing it.
Okay. Well, I think the next song is called Space.
Okay. Yeah, we like that one.
But is it called Space brackets Everybody Wants to Live Together now?
No, it's just called Space.
There you go. And that is from an episode 21, which was called Everybody Wants to Live Together Now. Right. So that is track 12. And then track 13 is a song called This Is a Tune.
Yep.
Which I have always really liked.
Okay.
And we talked about that. The episode called I'm Right in There Like the Pope.
Yes. That's a lyric from the song.
Yep. And then we're going to end with... I mean, there's no other way to end it, really.
Well, there is. There's many ways, but this is the best way to end it.
It is a good way to end it.
There you go. And titles. Yeah.
This our Johnny Domino podcast. It's got bongos.
It has. There was one other bit of music I wanted to listen to because one of the songs that we are not including on volume 2 of the best of This Our Johnny Domino is a song called Oh Chimpy. And I found a live version.
Oh, yeah.
That was recorded at the Old Angel in Nottingham.
Oh, it's now called The Angel.
It's called The Angel, but
it's no longer the Old Angel.
Yeah,
at the chapel upstairs at the Old Angel.
Yeah. We did many gigs there in various bands over the years, but we did a gig supporting a band called Bardo Pond. And yeah, it was one of the hottest days of the year. And the set that we did was pretty short, 7 songs. And all the songs involved Mark playing keyboards apart from the last track, which is the version of Ochimpy. Let's see if someone can work out what has happened to Mark's guitar after tuning up at the start of the set in a very hot room. Let's just see if you can work out what it's done to his guitar.
Oh,
God.
I actually like it, Steve.
You would do.
Bloody hell. Oh my God.
That's a room of people just showing their appreciation for the fact that we've stopped.
That was noise rock.
It
I didn't
was.
realise we were so noisy. It sounded a bit New York 1980s, didn't it, that?
Yeah, I think the thing is, Mark recorded it. He just bought a mini disc recorder and a microphone, and that was the first thing he recorded on it. And I think he set his microphone to high input, or rather than low. If you put it on low, it would have been a cleaner recording. But it does sound hot in there.
It's good. I thought the slightly out of tune dissonant guitar was kind of good. It made me think of Sonic Youth or something, you know.
Yeah, I know, but the Sonic Youth do that kind of thing on purpose.
I know,
And
but
it's only one string that's out. It's just
you're hearing something different to me. I thought that. I mean, it's really difficult to hear recording,
yeah.
but I thought it sounded pretty good. I liked it. I remember that gig. It's come back to me. It's come back to me. There's quite a lot of people there. Bardo Pond were a noise band as well, so it was kind of appropriate that we played.
They were like a drone, like art rock band, weren't they?
Yeah,
and still are.
Yeah. I think they're still going.
Yeah.
They're still going.
Yeah.
I remember two things about that gig.
Yes.
I remember that I used to work in a record shop, and there was my friend who used to work at the record shop called Stuart, who was this big, slightly crazy guy.
Yeah.
And he was shouting his appreciation in the middle of the audience.
Good.
And he was like the madman in the audience, like screaming that he loved Johnny Domino.
Yes.
And then I remember in the backstage area, I found two members of Bardo Pond watching some porn on their laptops.
No.
That's all I remember.
Everyone has their own pre-gig rituals, don't they?
They do.
And that was the Bardo Pond pre-gig ritual. Yes.
There you go.
Cool.
It's because of men like you that all must be destroyed.
Thanks.
It's quite all right.
We've got all of the songs for the compilation now, haven't we? We've gone through the track listing.
Yes.
It took us a bit longer than we thought, didn't it, Steve?
Yeah, it did.
This is going to take some editing, isn't it, Steve?
It's not going to take too much because I'm just going to pop a load of shit out.
You're going to make this it's going to be snappy.
Yeah,
it's going to be snappy.
We don't need to hear all the songs, and we don't need to hear them from the start. They can be faded in.
You can have some little clips, can't you?
It's wonderful what I can do.
It's going to be really good.
So this bit won't make any sense to anyone who's listening to the final product because they'll be thinking, wow.
But it's like lifting the veil to how this piece of work is created.
How this art comes together. Right. I will master the songs as quickly as possible. You're already working on the artwork, yeah?
Yes, the artwork is basically done.
Sweet. So
we're ready to roll.
Let's get it done as quickly as possible. Let's get some more product out there.
If you want product, I have actually got mugs now.
Yes.
So if you want to get involved in the podcast by sending us stuff, it can be old recordings from your youth. It could be anything that you record that's maybe in response to some of the shit that we talk about on the podcast.
Yeah.
Anything. Send stuff in. Get involved. I'll send you one of our beautiful mugs.
They are quite beautiful.
You want to see them? Have a look on Instagram. You'll see.
Yes. You'll get one of those if you take part in any of the engagement opportunities that we are trying to promote on the This Are Johnny Domino podcast. If you've got some old recordings that you've got under your bed, dig them out, send them in. We'll listen to them. We'll critique them. And you might gain entry into
the eternal halls of the 4-track gods.
Do you want to clear your throat before you do that? It's fine. It's fine. Oh, dear.
The eternal halls of the 4-track gods.
Yes. We're also asking people to send in recordings of songs that are either from their childhood or inspired by notions of childhood. If you listen to some of the recent episodes, you'll hear some examples that have been sent in by our wonderful, talented, and frankly beautiful listeners. So please get in touch either through Instagram or through Facebook, and you can be a part of the wonder that is our podcast. And don't forget,
the This Are Johnny Domino podcast. It's got bongos.
Thank you for listening to the podcast.
Thank you for listening to the podcast.
If you are enjoying listening to the podcast, please share it with a friend or an enemy or a loose acquaintance.
Yeah.
Maybe someone you work with, you occasionally chat. Maybe you want them to stop talking to you, in which case, recommend this podcast to them.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Please do like and subscribe to our podcast and recommend it to someone who you think might like listening to all this kind of weird shit. Send us some of your old music and enter the eternal halls of the 4-track gods.